I can't believe that the chain feels so different. Oh man, it is quiet. It's like what it should be. Oh boy. So what happened, guys, is that I was on the highway, Route 40, and I hear like this grinding weird noise. And it happened earlier too, and I thought, okay, maybe that was something, and I didn't think much of it. Then I rode for maybe 100 miles, and I heard that noise again, and I heard it, and it almost felt like the bike was skipping. So I pulled into the parking lot, looked over it, then I realized that the chain was just so super loose. And I saw metal shavings where the front sprocket is because I have oil and stuff. And so the weird thing is that this JT sprocket that I installed 10,000 miles ago is completely worn. And I installed the sprockets and the chain. So yeah, I didn't install just the chain. I installed the sprockets and the chain as you're supposed to. And it only lasted 10,000 miles. Very disappointing. I mean, extremely disappointing. Well, anyway, I managed to find a bike shop, Honda Suzuki of Oklahoma, and, oh, I should go slower here. The Suzuki of Oklahoma, and they worked on the bike right away. So I only lost like 2 hours of downtime, 2-3 hours. I was there just using the internet and stuff like that, and they were nice enough. And of course, they kind of judged me on my rear tire, which is understandable to the uninitiated. Oh boy, it's so hot here in Oklahoma. The way, that's the most expensive thing that happened on the road. And it probably would be about this price if you had a tire that you had to install. It would be like $250. But I'm very disappointed in the chain that I had, because I thought this would last me the entire trip, and it should have lasted me the entire trip. So I'm not really sure what happened. I was talking to the service guy, and he said that the JT sprockets are shit. And I'm not really sure what the hell is happening, because it should last longer. And sprockets for me have lasted me a whole lot more than 10,000 miles. This is kind of a fluke. And of course, I posted this online, and everybody's like, well, maybe it was the rear tire. No, you retards. It has nothing to do with the rear tire. The issue is it was probably like inferior steel to a regular motorcycle tire that you would get from other maker. So that's kind of like the issue. It was just a different, weaker steel than a lot of good tires. I think a lot of sprockets and chains. One of the problem is if you skip on the price of the sprockets, then that's what happens. The life of the chain and the sprockets is a little bit more limited. But man, if the bike just feels so much different, and maybe that's the reason I was getting really bad gas mileage, was the sprocket and the chain were completely crapped out. So now at least it is good to go, and I am ready to kind of just head out on the highway. Honestly, I am glad those guys were able to work on the bike when I brought it, and I understand like the expense of it, but $100, man, I can do this work. I am grateful. That's all I'm going to say. I'm grateful that the guys here managed to put the chain and the sprocket on while I was waiting, because that's pretty good service. But $250, man, I'm feeling that on my wallet right now, because I don't have that much money, and my credit card was canceled, so I have very little to kind of get home. I think I have about $80 left for this trip that I brought with cash. So kind of not a good thing for me. So I have to be very frugal. Definitely don't buy any food. I'm gonna try and like be frugal going home and see if I can get these $80 to get me home just on gas alone. So I have to find campground. This was a very unexpected problem that I had on the road, but that's sometimes what happens.